So, so starting off with season three, I felt that timing was essential across everything, love, career, and so many things that involve these ladies and their journey. Can you talk to me a little bit about that aspect of season three and these friendships that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think for me, to be honest, the biggest inspiration for season three was being told that it was the final season. I had an idea of what I wanted season three to be, and I had already mapped it out. There were scripts written, and then I get a call um, midway through the room that's like, this is most likely going to be the last season. And so at that point, I basically threw everything out. All the scripts, all the work that we had done, I was like, we're going to start over because if this is the last season of the show, I want to go out in a way that shows the women maturing and growing in unexpected ways. And like, really, if you go back to the first season, that it pays off the threads and the ideas that I started in that season. And I wanted to like see them come full circle, not necessarily in the way that they would expect or they wanted to, but in a way that an audience would appreciate. So yeah, that was kind of the inspiration behind the timing and all the things that happened with the women this season.
As we have walked along this journey with them, you mentioned about their maturity and growth. How did you want to set that up in the context of the friendship? We do see that as individuals, but it also grows the friendship group in different ways and strengthens them. So, can you talk to me a bit about that?
Yeah. Um, it was important for me to, like you're saying, do the individual growth, but also make sure that we never lose sight of them as a unit. And so, or as a group, but as the last frame of the show is them walking down the streets of Harlem together. And I wrote that because I was like, yes, this was like Camille's story and she has these friends, but it's really all of their story and it's about Harlem as well. And putting all of that in this like one frame was important to me. It was a love story about these women and their friendships with each other. It doesn't end with men. There's no men in the frame. It's just them. And at this moment, when we see them in that final frame, we've jumped into the future. And the reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to show, and it's kind of an unknown time period in my mind. This was like a year later. But I was like, yeah, they're still friends. They're still calling each other. They're still going out, even now that Camille has a child and she's married. I put a wedding ring on at the end that people might catch it, they may not, but we don't see it, but she is married and she has a kid and she's still prioritizing her friendships as well. So all of that was still at the heart of the show for me.
Which is a powerful thing. So, you mentioned Harlem, and from the beginning, it's been considered sort of a fixture of the group. So, can you talk to me a little bit about your love letter to Harlem as you weaved it through this final season?
Yeah, I will say this. We shot a lot in the streets of Harlem, and what I enjoyed the most was just the Black people in Harlem just standing in the streets. And sometimes it was disruptive because they would be cheering for us or like, can I get a picture? Hey, Megan, good. You know, they would just be yelling and carrying on and stuff like that. But they were genuinely excited that we were shooting there because a lot of shows that are set in New York don't shoot in Harlem. They shoot in every other like neighborhood, and they don't think about Harlem as like a good backdrop. So not only did we shoot literally in the streets of New York, but we went to Black-owned restaurants a lot. When we got catering for people on set, Black-owned. When we hosted parties and had gifts and stuff, we would frequent the actual shops in Harlem and buy from them and buy clothing and buy. We just spent so much time and effort kind of giving back to that neighborhood that was really excited to host us. They never, nobody, whenever we shot, we didn't have one bad experience. It was just excitement. It would sometimes be disruptive, I'll say that. And that just because that's because people would stop us to be like, hey, can we get a picture with this person? Or can I, can I talk to this person for a second? But for the most part, um, they were lovely, and like it was a really great place to shoot, and I'm grateful that we got the opportunity to do it.